Man. Oh man. Oh man. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. I'm really late this morning, and a lot of people probably reach work already and all these things, but here we go, anyways. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay-at-home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the Uber driver, Lyft driver, taxi driver, truck drivers, food delivery drivers, over the road long distance truck drivers. Shout out to the brother Troy Stars Trucking Vlogs on YouTube. Somebody go over and support Troy's channel, please. Shout out to every single clean-hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. Shout out to my medical personnel, the CNAs, the nurses, the therapists, the doctors, the you name it, you in the medical field, shout out to you. The frontliners. Shout out to the school bus drivers. Yes, indeed. But no school not going right now. But y'all get a shout out anyway. Boy, Galaxy says it's going to be a long show today. Galaxy, listen, I just went to bed not too long ago. Called myself up late last night. I try to spend some sexy time with wifey and them thing there. And then my son, him, jump out of him bed and came and mash up the party. And then decided he wasn't going to go back to sleep. So I had to play Kai's game. So we didn't go back to sleep. I didn't go back to sleep until almost 5 o'clock this morning because this kid would not go down. Somebody said, stop calling you them kid because you know a goat have kid. Wanna stop them all time something that I'm on. You know, kid, kindergarten. Come on now. We know we talking about children. You know when I talk about my kids, I'm not talking about no damn goats. All right. And when I talk about your kids, I'm not talking about no goats. I love children and I talk about children. So when we say kids, that's what it is. We say kids. A long time ago, them used to say that, you know. Oh, y'all call it picking them kid like a goat. It's children. That's from my granny era. Things have changed somewhat. All right. So no big deal. But here we are this morning, bright and late. Not bright and early, bright and late. Let me shout out my first 10 people in here and then we get on with the story. I don't know where the box at. I want to really get on here and like vent, but me venting is only gonna help me. The people then who have to go through this, I can't imagine them not even having room to vent, not even having a platform to vent on. But we're gonna talk about this. I actually listened yesterday to not listened, but watched the comment section yesterday, answered as many people as I could on yesterday morning's live. And I wrote down all the suggestions, unless you left more after. Some people said talk about Osafa Powell child support issue, SouFLo. All right. Some say the little girl whose mom died and she went to live with her dad and his woman, and the woman, the dad woman, end up killing the little girl. I want to bring that story as well. Not this morning though. Some said talk about Stephen Frey. I said who? Stephen Frey, the hijacker. I didn't know who it was, so I went and Google and look up and research. There's about 1 million pages of Stephen Frey out there. Somebody who hijacked a plane, a Canadian airline plane in Jamaica, and he did get sentenced to 84 years or something like that in prison, but he got released. Then let's talk about Shensia Rolling Loud performance, an Alkaline BRT weekend performance. And then somebody said, talk about what happened to Jamil. Who OBIM? Was it Alkaline or Movado? I don't know. That last topic on the mix up body now. Shout out to JA Radio TV, Wigs and Shaq. They already did that topic. So I guess this is how people jump from platform to platform. SouFLo, talk about this, talk about that. Wigs and Shaq stuff popped up right beside mine and I saw the topic. On the door mix me here. All right. So let's start off this morning and give the 10 people their shout outs and then we get on with the story. That one is not good. It's not good at all. It's disturbing. It's friggin' disturbing. So Galaxy, good morning and thank you for being the first one here this morning. Marlene McLeod, good morning. Marlene said, good morning and bless up SouFlo. Thank you and bless up to you too, my friend. Eva Frost, up move. Good morning. King Biggs, thank you for being here. Hamila Thomas, thank you for being here. Craig G, Vicky Victory, Danya Quesada, I'ma Inspire here again. Thank you for being here. Hiya, Donna Mitchell, Josh Jr., Eve One Melody, Marlene McLeod, and Rose Ann RN. Thank you for being here. Richard Leon, thank you. And Latoya, BSNRN. The RNs are rolling in. I love to see it. I love to see it. Darky35, thank you, Miss Adventure, and Lasha Alexander, and Steve Wright, and Kaz Robinson, Gaza Chef UTG, Kim Woods, thank you for being here. Joan White. All right. Shout out enough people. The people I haven't shouted out, you already know how it goes already. If you make it in early, I give you a little shout out. Other than that, we have to move on with the show, but it's still manners and respect to you. I might have to put my glasses on this morning. Like I said, I don't wear glasses, but this takes the glare from out my eyes. I'm going to professor mode right now. So a story hit the headlines yesterday, disturbing as hell, and I thought, what's really going on in Jamaica though? So the headline in the Star says, I have never seen anything so brutal. This is veteran crime fighter who is moved by the rape, murder of an elderly St. Andrew woman. Not even the granny, no safe. What would you want with an 80-something-year-old woman? Anyhow, he says that watching his men move the body of the 82-year-old woman who appeared to have been raped before her throat was slashed by lowlifes in Ashoka Road in Waterhouse, St. Andrew, was far more the most difficult task for Superintendent of Police Kirk Ricketts in his 27 years career in the force, in crime fighting. Imagine, for 27 years, this man has been of service. For 27 years, fighting crime in Jamaica and going to crime scenes in Jamaica. He has seen some pretty bad things. Shout out to my JCF, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, law enforcement officials, and my JDF law enforcement officials. Them get baskets to carry water, and it's rough. Not only that, I was saying that these people must have a high level of post-traumatic stress disorder. They must. They must, because some of the pictures that I get, just to be somebody that has to go to these kind of scenes and to see graphic, horrific scenes like this on a regular basis, we need to stop act like this is, oh my God, I'm surprised. Oh, wow, what's going on? Is this happening? Because it happens way too often. And them have to see this all the time. If you're subjected to seeing these things all the time, this is not a movie. You're seeing this in real life. And some of the people that you're going to look at the crime scene are people that they know before they died. So this must take a toll on your mental space. You understand? Then people here have, I am pretty sure, if I should say, listen, let's be an advocate for our law enforcement officials in Jamaica. Let's ask those in the higher ups to have them evaluated, to have them tested, to have them go through some evaluation to see where their mental space is at. They will quickly find out that majority of them that are on the beat all the time probably have severe, not just a little bit, severe post-traumatic stress disorder. They probably lack sleep a lot, have issues sleeping. Their circadian rhythm is all messed up because they're dreaming or having flashbacks of things they have seen and witnessed on the job. All other kind of stuff. They're probably highly irritable. They're probably all the signs and symptoms that goes along with post-traumatic stress disorder from a combat veteran. They probably carry those as well. This is the facts. Delroy Stewart. I was going to say this is no made up stuff. This is facts, but facts. You know what I'm saying? So while we're out here advocating for everybody else, we don't know how it go already. As trouble catch a tail, the first person you call is 119. don't it? Because you're not no bad man and you're not no street person. You depend on the law as well. So it's either we're going to have them and treat them good, or don't have them at all and handle things ourselves. We see how the other part goes, so we definitely know that we need them. And if we need them, then we have to care for, protect, and respect them as well. Plain and simple like that. See it? All right. Now, this story. Superintendent says, I have never seen anything so brutal. I have never seen anything so brutal. The senior crime fighter said, 27 to 28 years did not prepare me for this. This is what Ricketts said, who heads one of the island's toughest police divisions in St. Andrew South. And I can't blame Andrew Holness for this again. Before I even go any further with this story, let me say this. Ashoka Road in Waterhouse, St. Andrew. We know how the place stay. Nobody can just come in your place and do certain things and come out. It's somebody close to you and somebody in your place that did this. On the need for turn the place upside down. For those of you who don't really too versed with the patois, let somebody explain to you. But I have to use the language that people understand when I speak to those people. Marcus Garvey said, if I get up in front of people, a group of people that speak Spanish, and I'm up there speaking in English, it doesn't matter how eloquent my speech is, nobody heard me. All right? So the people them around there so in a Waterhouse, you don't need to turn the place upside down and find that. That's something there. We do that. That's something there. We do that. Because this wasn't a human being that did this. This person gone. This person in our next zone, our next realm. Okay? I only need to find a person here. I bet you money this person did this already before, probably in some other part of Jamaica. This person probably did this on a smaller level before. Draw a girl, pick me and rape them and all these kind of things. There's a lot of women in Jamaica that get raped and sexually molested and them keep it quiet from embarrassment, from how the public is going to react. Well, you probably did not go on like you want it. You did push up on the man and the clothes where you didn't have on, your skirt did too short. All these kind of things. Not to mention the time that they get once they're caught. And how everybody then they try act like say the victim played a role in her own issue. You know what I'm saying? In this particular case, like when them get draw it and rape off. But Waterhouse, Waterhouse, I saw no run the place. This is how y'all running your place, eh? Yo, listen, man. Oh man, this I just get disturbed thinking about this. You know what I'm saying? Cause this is like my grandmother, them age group and thing, and to see this happen, to live a long life is a blessing. To live a long life where you're prosperous, healthy, is a blessing. To live to 82 and somebody broke into your house to rape you, and then not only rape you, but to cut your throat like you're a goat. Where do we go with that? What kind of society is that? And I don't want nobody act like, oh, SouFlo, stop going over exaggerate because it's a one-time thing. No, it's not. This ain't no one-time thing. I've covered stories like these before from other parts of Jamaica. It happened before more than once, more than twice, which was more than too much. Galaxy, thank you. Galaxy says, I noticed a lot of loose crime happening in St. Catherine and St. Andrew. St. Catherine, St. Andrew turnover from long time. But you see, we can deal with the gunman thing because that's why we warn, we youth them. That's why we tell them, we cousin, we brother, we niece, we nephew, we say, listen, if you take up a certain kind of lifestyle, you see me, SouFLoTV, I respect bad man business. Let me explain to you why. You have soldiers in the streets, just like you have soldiers in the military. It's just that one work with the law and one work against the law. Well, sometimes you have those who are supposed to be working with the law, working with those who work against the law. You already know what the settings is once you pick up gun and go on a road and start to live a certain kind of life, right? So I leave them to nyam themselves over there. So kill out who for kill out and go and fight and kill out on one another. You already know. If I am to pick up certain kind of lifestyle right now, I already know what the outcome is, and it's either I accept it and decide, say, yo, I'm still gonna live the life there. A bad man, something me say, a road me say, or some them and me leave them thing alone. I'm gonna try to stay out of bad man business, gunman business. But you see, when time it comes to stuff like this, though, the killing has been so out of control. The little 10-year-old boy was outside the other day, a gunshot in his head. There's another story out there, a woman and her, I believe it's her couple-month-old baby. The baby get gunshot in the head. I haven't covered these stories because I've been trying to stay away a little bit, you know, to make my own soul kind of rejuvenate itself from all this. But this, I couldn't skip it. I couldn't skip it this morning. Again, I gotta say this. Waterhouse. I saw no running the place. Somebody knows something. Draw that out. Somebody knows something. Draw that out. Don't tell me nobody don't know nothing and it's a one-off. It's not. We know how the place run. Okay? Somebody knows something. Somebody knows something. So the deceased is Doris Gordon. Rest in peace, mama. And I can't say rest in peace either. I would have liked to see the people who did this to you rest in pieces. Not even rest. Chop up and mash up in pieces, to be honest with you. But we can't even say rest in peace to her. What kind of peace is her soul going to go get? This is how she left Earth. This is how she left Earth. And I'll tell you something else. Reprisal killings will never stop when stuff like this keep happening. Because if this I did my grandmother, may I promise you on everything I love, and I don't care who I listen, all of them, tune into SouFLoTV, listen, somebody send, go get them. If it happened to my family member, them down there, you best believe we empty in the bank account and riding south. That means that if we can't do it ourselves, we appeal for who can do it. And we hot on it ourselves. So only better get on it way before we get on it. Now, I am absolutely sure that whoever mom or grandmother this is right now is not somebody that just gonna sit down and just take this. So, oh, them just the 82-year-old mother, them just rape her and then cut off her throat and slash her neck like she go. You think somebody's just gonna, okay, I'll leave it in the hands of God? No, that's what we say in front of the camera. I leave it in the hands of God. Yeah, but guess what? God help those who help themselves. Me both help myself. Real talk. Now, the deceased is Doris Gordon, and she was killed on Tuesday around 1 p.m. in a big broad daylight. 1 p.m. Mr. Somebody knows something. Somebody knows something. 1 p.m. Now, by the man or men who residents theorized pounced on her while she was in her backyard washing clothes. I'm in the US and I work in, I go into these long-term care facilities and I see elderly people. Majority of them in their 80s up. Them can't in no backyard or wash no clothes, you know, they weren't aging well. Yes? So obviously, mama did good. She in her backyard washing clothes. She didn't see this coming. This is not how she planned her ending. She in her backyard wash clothes. Broad middle day. This 1 p.m. And you notice I'm a words person. The report said the man or the men who did this. That's why I say somebody knows who did this. This wasn't, and this was probably more than one person that did it. That's why I said somebody knows who did this. How can you and your brethren, sit and think about something like this? I said, come on, we're going to do this. You take off them glasses. I can't really see with the glasses because they're not tested glasses. They're for aesthetics. How could you and your brethren, I want people to see my face when I talk. How could you and your brethren sit down and really plan something like this? And not one of you said to the next one, oh, what kind of meds you pre? Like, where you dep on? Like, you need help. Not like secretly go call police on him or something. But you encourage And you know, so them are the same people, you know. If you go tell police, these are the same people that would say you're a snitch. You're a snitch. For something like this, it's worth snitching. But snitching is when you do something with somebody, you and them commit a crime, and you go tell on them. That's snitching. So if that person is a part of this crime, yeah, you and your brethren, I don't expect anybody to own up to this. They're going to have to catch them. I don't expect anybody to own up to this. Because how do you go tell the police that, officer, I was involved? How in this? They're going to have to catch them. A jungle justice alone is going to work in this. I am giving JCF, JDF too. Them need to come down out of the barracks and start hit the streets and the neighborhoods. And a lot of them are, because they have ZOSO in certain areas and zones of special operation in certain areas. I'm pretty sure. Is the St. Catherine under zone of special operations, by the way? So right in the middle is also in a big broad daylight this happened. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that area in under ZOSO as we speak? In her backyard. This happened Tuesday. Today is Thursday. 1 p.m. Big broad daylight. Pounced upon her as she was in her backyard washing clothes. She has been living at Ashoka Road for the past 5 years. She moved from Seaview Gardens to this community. Seaview Garden is the community where she grew up. She spent her whole life over there. And just in these last 5 years, she's been living in the community. Big broad daylight. A woman who has lived in the community for a number of years. 5 years is a long time. 5 years is half of a decade. She's been living in that community. That means that people know her. 80-something-year-olds don't just move in our community by themselves. Nobody knows them and they just go silent in that community. Especially in Jamaica and especially in these inner city communities, people know you. So somebody knows something. They were watching this lady for a while. I don't know, random act this. Two men never did a pass and just say an old lady I wash clothes and somebody could go jump on her. That's not how it happened. They literally planned this. They literally was watching this lady. They literally was watching this old lady and planned this. It is extremely distressing to see the body of an elderly citizen really touched just about every police officer that was there. I can tell you that the detectives are moving as fast-paced to find out who could have done such a wicked act, Ricketts said. Gordon's caretaker appeared shell-shocked as she stood over a pool of blood and dentures belonging to the slain senior citizen. What the... Yo. Granny don't deserve this. She's a nice lady, you know. Hold them fedora like this. This is what her caretaker said as tears flowed down her face. The little boy, who is a tenant in there, found her around at the back. Him see her and him call the police. She up on the dirty ground naked. And only the top part of her them never take off. This is what her caretaker said. On the dirty ground naked. Where was the little boy with the tenant in there? I'm suspicious of everybody now. Sorry, caretaker, all you two. You're gonna have to go through my ringers and then get flushed out as okay, no longer a suspect. But when things like these happen, I put everybody in there. I put everybody in there. Because sometimes the woman them see what go on, but they're so fearful of these people that are doing these things that they don't want to tell. So they'll come in front of the camera and say stuff like, oh God, how them for do her like that? She's a nice lady, you know, when they actually know who exactly did it. You know what I'm saying? So we putting everybody in this. But the way how they describe her, the woman dentures, you know, dentures. She ain't have no teeth. She had false teeth. Her whole fucking, pardon my language. I'll try not to curse again. Her whole false teeth stuff, dentures, is out on the ground in a pool of blood. Can you just look on that scene there in your mind? Look at that scene in your mind. And Superintendent Ricketts said every police officer that was there was drastically affected by this. That's why I'm telling y'all, say, boy, if you test them right now, majority of them supposed to have severe post-traumatic stress disorder. Supposed to have. Because how do you walk away from something like this and go back to normal? You can't. You can't. The caretaker says the little boy who is a tenant in there found her around at the back. Him see her and him call the police. She dep on the dirty ground naked. This is exactly as it's written. I'm giving it to you. She dep on the dirty ground naked. Only the top part them never take off, she said. I swear. The caretaker said that she had developed a close bond with Gordon during the 5 years that she had been taking care of her. So she moved there 5 years ago, and this caretaker been sticking by her and taking care of her for 5 years. So I said, again, I don't want to throw a caretaker under the bus, but you understand what I mean. You won't be offended if I say you should be looked at as well. As long as you don't have nothing to hide, there won't be no, well, look at me, for me couldn't do something like that. No, you will go through the questionings, you will go through the pre-in, and then we will say, okay, she really never have nothing to do with it. The caretaker said she developed a close bond with Gordon during the 5 years she took care of her. Every morning at 5:30, we're going to give her our medication because she trouble with seizures. So it's a sick, well, she could have seizures from she young still. I can't believe it. Every morning, I go past the gate, I go to work, and she not go in there. She not go in there. Gordon, the 82-year-old, is a mother of 3. She was said to be very active despite her age and illness. And you see what I say? And although she lived alone, there was always someone close by to come to her aid. Everybody is suspect. She used to work at Red Cross. And she tell me, say, I threw the seizure while she left. She is very clean. And she is always active, you know. For some old people, them cloak up themselves, but not she, the caretaker said. So Granny did owl up, but she never call up. Another neighbor and close friend said that Gordon was well respected in the community. We used to sleep with her at night time to ensure that she was all right. But through my husband got sick, I could no longer do it. She was a nice lady. I saw her this morning, and she was under a mango tree in our yard, and she looked quite fine. I never expected this one, the neighbor said. Boy, listen, me, man. I am watching Jamaica sentencing guidelines. Let me give you an example. I'm working 2 phones this morning. These are the headlines in comparison. I see a headline come out of Jamaica a couple of days ago that said, and I'm going to do a story on it because I saved them. I just haven't gotten around to do the voicing yet. It said, man gets 3 years. 3 years for multiple sex acts in multiple different situations against minors, and him get 3 years. I have to go read into that story then. Okay. If y'all want to imitate America, imitate this part. See them headline here? Man get 100 years in prison for sex act or sex abuse. And this was from January of 2017. Then we go to April of 2021. A New Orleans man get 100 years for child molestation. That was on channel 18 WJTS. There's another one. Man sentenced to 100 years for molesting a child for more than a decade. Here's another one. Indiana man, 34 years old, impregnated a 10-year-old girl and gets over 100 years. Ex-Rhode Island man gets 100 plus years for sexual abuse of a minor. Next one. Man sentenced to 100 years. You see how them give out 100 years in the US though? Do you see how they give out 100 years in the US though? These are the things that I talk about when I say, listen, the time is not fitting the crime in Jamaica. There is no deterrent. So when people start to say, SouFLo, them have to bring back the death penalty, neck have to start pop. Them have to act like say it's an emergency or else this is going to continue because them boy I know said nothing now happen to them. If anything, they're just getting a long vacation stretch to go chill with the homies on the cell block and talk about them a wallet. And they'll be out again before you know it. With 100 years, that's a natural life sentence. You're not live that out. If you're in your 30s and 40s and 20s already, you're not living that out to come out. Not unless you live to 120 odd. And I don't know, nobody will live that long. So, the crime, the deterrent, the time has to fit the crime. And that's one of the biggest things in a Jamaica right there. So, man did some dirty, nasty stuff like this. I call this dirty and nasty. This is a 82-year-old mother of 3, well respected in the community. You want to tell me that this woman trouble with seizures? People have, and has a caretaker, the same caretaker for 5 years. You know what that tells me? Same caretaker for 5 years. It tells me that she was well respected. Because, you know, people will take care of people. But see, if you're disrespectful and nasty, they're not sticking around for no 5 years. Right? The lady was in her backyard, man. She go in her backyard, say, let me move around a little bit and wash some clothes and hang them up on the line and these kind of things. Do something for myself, you know? And this person, yeah, who know I look pan. Figure strip half naked and rape, and then cut the woman throat bad enough on a rape her, cut the woman throat, all her dentures knock out her mouth. Like, my God, man. Waterhouse. You can't make this go like this. Y'all cannot let this go like this. I know right now, you know, I know a couple of people within the ranks, okay? And I know right now, because some of them don't agree with me when I call for certain things. Like when Mr. Jungle Justice, then will link me right away. And my phone start vibrating. I say, SouFLo, come on, man, stop with the Jungle Justice something. Give me a chance to do a job. Give you a chance to do your job, but nobody now get hanged for this. And that's the only justifiable violence and death is the only justifiable answer for this. You understand? Now, whether it's done by the law or it's done by vigilantes, I wouldn't too care. As long as the right person get it. Somebody knows something. Somebody knows something. Wow. You know, I have a long list of things to talk about this morning, but when I wake up and I saw this, I was like disturbed. Like I couldn't think of all my other topics, how to get into them anymore when I saw this. And if that affects my mental this way, just reading about it, the details, then I can only imagine the people who did actually have to see it. The people who did actually have to cover her up, and the people who are going to have to pick up that dentures out of the blood, clean up the blood, wrap up our body, carry her with a morgue. I can't even imagine. This disturbed me just reading it. I'm sure it disturbed any good person out there just hearing it. A nation of traumatized people. Again. Little youth in the community see them something here. The youth them not getting no mental health counseling in no people. When they understand what's going on. It's like somebody turned the faucet on us. It's like we've beat these topics to death because we've talked about sometimes we want to take shame out of our eye because we're so ashamed. So somehow we gonna talk about, you know, say the Haitian them will come in and do them something here. Some people are saying it's not Jamaicans doing these, it's outside entities moving into Jamaica, do them thing here to stir up certain things in other place. Somehow we gone as far as to say something them put in the imported foods. Remember all these things? When I look at all these things, I just look at a people in denial. This is a hard reality to accept, that this is us. So, of course, Haitians running from justice in Haiti end up in Jamaica, and them do them thing. It sounds good. It kind of make you feel at ease, like, okay, at least it's not my Jamaican people. Now let's go find the Haitians that are coming in. On a full of it. On a full of it. Our people are doing something here, and others know who is doing these things. You know, they will have their little talk. And their little talk will be like, yo, you know, say John does also to Miss Garden. Yeah, Miss Garden from Rona. The woman will make front page. Yeah, I him do it. Brother, Mr. stand up out there the day one time, see man. And me I say, right, I can't. And at that go on. Somebody knows something. When you live in a lane, nothing can hide. Especially if it's done out in the open. Somebody knows something. I see somebody says a crackhead do it. Well, that shouldn't be too hard to believe, because in order to do something like this, you must have been on some heavy kind of drugs. Something psychedelic, something will make your mind, your chip lick, your mind don't work right no more. You no longer see reality or have feelings. Emotions took flight. Sense took flight. Boy, joyfully say let's fast and pray individually for our country, and that's the only way to heal the land, and that's a lie. I'm sorry, I'm not running a church over here, and I'm not pastor, and I'm not pretending to be. This is a reality platform, so when you come here, sometimes they're going to give you the reality real hard, and you have to go just swallow that hard pill. Then, okay, here's another one. So it's not the Haitian them coming in doing it. It's not foreign entities doing it. It's not people trying to destabilize Jamaica, secretly turning up the volume on the crime rate. Is not we not praying enough and we not fasting enough. It's not that either. We're not praying enough. We're not fasting enough. That's religion for you. May I pray, may I fast. It now work out. Them tell us that you're not praying enough, or you're not praying hard enough, or you're not fasting long enough. If we pray from now till thy kingdom come, if we fast till we starve to death, it not gonna change nothing. This is going to go on just the same. When you talk about spiritual people, and when you talk about praying people, Jamaica full of that. Jamaica is full of some frigged up people, but Jamaica is full of some, you know, when them say prior warriors, that's real talk. Them exist. Enough of them. And Jamaica full of those. Me see people have prayed a fast like all 40 days like Jesus in the wilderness. And me I say, raw, me hungry. Pan day one. Half a day one. And they go it. So to tell people that we need to now go individually instead of collectively, we had done that long time. So what else is going to be? Another solution that is going to go nowhere, or another suggested solution that is going to go nowhere. We need to stop off of that prayer something there. We need to start doing. I think God just, what God there? Hear them all get stirred up now. How dare you, SouFlo? How dare you? Because I say, where God there? Where is God? Where is God? Is this the end that God gave to this 82-year-old woman? What she do so to deserve that? And if God was in control, why God never kill her with a heart attack? She at 82. Kill her with a wicked stroke and a heart attack, what kind? I'm sure she would have preferred that than that. No, talk for real. Let's be for real, right? I'm sure she would have preferred a heart attack and a massive stroke and go out like that than to be raped, stripped naked, left out a door upon the dirty ground for everybody come see up in your hoo-ha, throat cut, dentures knock out a mouth. Come on, man. I have to ask. I am like a grain of sand on the beach. Me just reach a earth. There are others who have been here 3 times my lifetime and 4 times. Me a fair ask, where is God? Because sometimes you follow these stories and you would really feel like saying, no, God not exists. You start to actually really look that way like, they must have a rotted point. Because where is God in this? And this is not no new story. This is not no one-time thing. This ain't the first time this happened. I would go as far as to say this. Mind enough. You see the people, you see the other situations that happened before, and they didn't catch anybody for it. It was unsolved because I follow, once I do these stories, I follow these stories all the way through. That's why sometimes you get an update and the update is all 2 years down the road. Because me, I follow the story all the way through. Any new information come out, okay, JCF is now hot on the trail of this person. Now they're looking for this individual. This person was brought in, finally caught, and after questioning with an attorney present, this person probably failed the questioning and is now in confinement. Now this person have to go see a judge. That's how I follow the stories through until sentencing. And for the others that have done similar to this, me never get no follow-up, as in who got caught for them, who had to go see a judge, who got sentenced. So I'm guessing that these people are not getting caught. We could even be looking at a serial killer. This is their MO. This is how they move. The national DNA database still has not been established in Jamaica as yet. If somebody knows something about that, an update to that piece of information right there, please tell me about it. But as far as I know, it still has not been established. Above all things, something that is that important. You know there's evidence at that crime scene, right? That can lead straight to that person, right? No crime is perfect, you know. Something always left behind. It just takes good technicians to find it. Now with blood and the way how they describe the scene, something is left there. I could have even one crutches here. Something is left there that could lead to. But if we don't have top of the line forensics and forensic investigators, and if we don't have a national DNA database established and set up, it leaves room for whoever did this to walk. And then they'll feel emboldened. Like, yo, them can't, I don't know, them will catch me yet. I think it's time to do it again. And look forward to hearing another one of these stories again. Because they're fully operational and them realize that them not gonna get catch for it. That's a go on. Somebody says some of those pastors just in it for the money. Yeah, we're not beat down the pastor them this morning, but you already know. Like I said, it's all pimping and pandering. The pastoral thing for a lot of people has become just a means of income, and getting a nice income at that with some status in the community. Because you know, majority of people respect a pastor. Even one time them feel like say the pastor they're crooked, probably only some of us feel that way because his congregation certainly does not feel that way. His or her congregation feels like this person is worthy for me to meet them every Saturday or Sunday and bring a portion of my earnings, my income, my family money, my picnic them food money, go give them. So, but we know they're out there. But the whole pray something there and letting the people feel like they're not praying hard enough. Mental health is a serious thing. Because this can't be somebody that is saying that did this. Sane people don't do things like this. We know that. JK says, remember, your body is just a vessel after death. It don't worth a crap. It's your soul. That's important. Maybe her mission or purpose on earth was completed. Then you have Satan. I don't know how that explained anything to you. If our mission on earth was completed, then who sent her to come do that mission there? Okay, let's argue this in the context of religion, right? God is my pilot and my co-pilot. God sent me come here, come do a mission. Me bata for 82 years for earth, yeah, so, and completed my mission in a manner where people speak about me and says he was highly respected. He was loved, he was adored. But the God that sent me to do my mission take me out like that. Me get raped, my neck get cut. Them dash me away like garbage, I'm outside naked. At 82. I don't know. Religious people will always find some kind of way to explain, and I get it. I don't knock anybody's religion. I've seen religion change people from nasty, dirty, low down thinking, something where you would have want to crush like a bug. I've seen religion change people from that to some good, upstanding, loving, caring. Me see it in my lifetime. I saw it. So me now go box a man by blow time hand and tell him about a foolishness I deal with, no God no there. And I've seen it at work. But there's a time when we have to put that over there, so, okay, and start get on with some action. And action in these situations, action is needed right across the board. From the higher ups all the way down. The people in the community need to police their communities better. I'm going to go right into it. The people in the community need to police them community better. Or they might not be snitching on each other. Because you know Baba there around there, so I sell him little herb. So you're not going to run, go tell police, say, yes, him around there, so I sell herb, because him get my draw herb from too. And that's all he does. So we're not talking about that. We are talking about like, when things like these happen in your community, draw out who do it. Follow the leads when you hear, because they're talking. The streets talk. The grunga talk. And if you're ear to the grung, you're going to know. So the people need to police their communities better. This whole, it's all about me and not we, that mentality needs to go, because that's what got us here. I remember, not, and like I said, me know, I remember just the other day when we were about we. You can't go in any community. That's why I always said Jamaica is tribal, because that's how I grew up. My whole land community is like a tribe in there. And if you come in there, you have to either climb, you have to go swim through a river and climb mountain to get out. That's one way. And the next way out is the same way you come in. So a one way in, one way out. And nobody couldn't come in there, come do nothing. From a lady say, whoa, thief. Every man fly out of them house with a cutlass, a knife, a big stone, a bottle, something. And they're not letting you run and talk about, oh, him did too fast and get one. Them I run you down. So this togetherness stuff is gone. This looking out for my neighbor is gone, and my neighbor's children and my neighbors looking out for me. All that is gone. And here comes our punishment, because all that is gone. We no longer are together, we are divided. Me no worry about it, because never my granny. Me hear the boy SouFLo over there talk. Him always bring up them kind of crime story and make Jamaica look bad. I don't really care about them something there. It don't happen to me and my family. Me can't relate. You actually have people that say that all the time. And then it reach on their doorstep and then is, woe is me. SouFLo and somebody please cry for me. And then SouFLo is like, I don't hear you. I don't hear you, because when I was telling you that I need your voice to rally with the rest of voices that's crying out for change, for help, you separate yourself and go talk about that not affect me. Me don't know I go on there, so my family good. You just make Jamaica look bad. You can't find something else to talk about. And then it hit you. You never thought it would, huh? You see me, I don't separate myself from none of this, because anything that happened to others can happen to you as well. And I am very conscious of that. I am very conscious of that. So I put myself in these people's shoes. Where are picking them I go through? She's 82, I'm sure her children are grown. Big man and big woman. What are they going through right now, knowing that that's how their mom was found? If me go find my mother like that, me I drop down, first of all, because my head couldn't take it. And then when I come to, me I go pre-beer revenge. And me don't want to hear nothing about law. And I don't want to hear nothing about church and pray and God. Because my mind is going to flip and I'm going to say, well, my mom was a godly woman. My mom was a godly woman, so how God make this happen to her? I mean, I don't want to hear nothing about no community. Because somebody in a community see something and nobody's not saying nothing, so me I pray everybody around here. This is sad as hell. So the communities need to start policing themselves better. This goes to the people, not government. We need to come off of the blame government, blame government. Yes, government steps in where those laws that I talk about that have man doing cut woman throat and then go stand up in front of judge talk about, Your Honor, I'm deeply remorseful, and you know, it's just one of them things that me did have a bad day, my head take me, and you know, she did a cheat on me, and after all me invest in her, and the judge start your sentencing consideration from 25 years and start count down. Well, he was deeply remorseful, so that knocks off 10% of his time, that's all. He admitted to the crime, so that knocks off another 50% of his time, that's all. Where'd that go? Where is that going? Where is that going? Okay, them can't bring back death penalty. I tell you what will be a deterrent. And it can be done in a humane way. The country have enough infrastructure that need fixing up. So you see, when you sentence somebody, judges, even Andrew can hear this because he can then he is the leader at this time. I don't want people to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to pick Andrew because this happened before Andrew Holness took office, okay? Let's stop acting like we're blind. He's just in there now, and a lot of people are disappointed because they thought change was coming, and we got more of the same, and some people say even worse with him. And whoever is there after him is going to be collecting the blame the same way. You see, that's something they call life at hard labor. Them need to make sure say it's hard labor for real. Shackled foot to foot, that no cost nothing. Make the shackle them and make the chain pan it long enough for them can swing a hoe, swing a sledgehammer, broke rock stone, and have them out there working. And have the people who supervise them in prison, the correctional officers, out there with them, supervising them, and work them whole day. So when me say 20 years at hard labor, you're lucky if you make it to 10 because I walk out this whole case in here. Now when them other youth there see that, they'll be like, oh God, no, that worse than death. Because some people, you know, they already made up their minds and them want to kill themselves. They're living suicidal already. So they're willing to accept a quick death. But don't give them no quick death. Since we can't bring back the death penalty then, work them to death. In the meantime, we get benefits out of that. And how the place so clean. And when them build up them nice stone wall there, the gutter them and everything clean out. No person that them do it, man. That's why I'm telling you, I said, listen, if I was to be given that position for 1 year, I would change that island for about a century to come. In a 1 year. They're not step on the thing enough. They're not acting like it's an emergency. It is an emergency. We're living in an emergency, but the messed up part is we've been living in an emergency for a long time. No wonder you see certain people who come from certain parts of Jamaica, them always booming, and they all act a certain way from a certain area. Them trouble too. They are trouble too. Them warlike, highly irritable, easily agitated, ready for fight for everything. And because them traumatized too. Go ask them when was the first time you saw a dead body. And don't be surprised when them say, boy, the first time them lick down a man at my gate, you know, me about 7, you know. I was outside eating ice cream. I play on my mother's foot. And we hear bow, 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 bow. And mommy grab me and draw me and we run. And then we hear bear screaming. We go out there and look. Man head wide open. You didn't receive no counseling. You didn't receive no kind of help how to process this as a child, get past this. And that ain't the first one. That's not the last one they saw. This affects everybody, man. This affects the whole away. Because even if you don't live in that community, then you have to go deal with them at some point. Some of them move away, go to foreign, start relationship, can't function right. You know, everything them want are them woman to do. A man want him woman to do and choke her and kick her down. That's why you hear women say, me not date no man from Yasso or Deso or you hear men say it too, me not date no woman from Yasso or Deso or it's because of that. So we are all affected. We are all affected. Boy, Mr. Garden, I feel it. I feel it. I don't know. I'm like, me I talk enough, but I'm rambling because my brain ain't even working right this morning. Just thinking about that right there. But from top to bottom, straight across the board, change is needed. Change is needed. I wouldn't mind if I fly down to Jamaica and see a long stretch of man shackle up together in a jumpsuit, prison jumpsuit, and they're out there cleaning up the place. And a couple guards around them. A guard vehicle with some big heavy weapon in it. And this was their daily operation. Come out, come clean up the place and let the youths them see you. In your shackles, in your prison gear, cleaning up the island. I'm talking about the deterrent. Something has to be done. Something has to be done. On a mental health level, something has to be done. You know, the average Jamaican family that has somebody that's going through mental issues, they're ashamed. They rather say somebody obey them, somebody obey them, a good son, or we them go smoke with them boy then and put lizard tail in it, or you know, they'll find a million different excuses other than he's having an episode. He's bipolar. He needs help. He's self-medicating. He needs help. When him head take him go around and go rape people, broken up people, place, do all kind of madness. I've heard those diagnoses before. Bipolar with narcissism and all these kind of things. We don't look at mental health in a serious manner within our community anyways. It's looked at as something to be ashamed of. It's looked at as something to hide. So the mentally ill goes unchecked. And again, I'm not talking about mentally ill people where their road I walk up and down and them dirty and them eat out a garbage can. They have their good family down the road, but the family can't get them to come in. Sometimes I have to go catch them and bathe them and carry them dinner, go give them out the road and same way and just know they can't keep them in the yard. That happens. But them not the ones we talking about, because them ones that they don't do nothing to nobody. If you trouble them, they might fling something after you or whatever, right? Every now and then we hear about one madman will go crazy and start chop after people. But that's years of him being troubled on the road. School picnic trouble him. When I was growing up, one did in my community, we used to call him come back from England, and he came back from England and lost his mind in Jamaica. We did afraid to go to England one time. Because them used to say England move fast, you know, and the cold. And when the cold get up in your head, and you come back here and your brain start thaw out, your mind leave you and you go crazy. These are the things they used to tell us as kids. So this man come back from England, tall, good-looking brother, losing mind at Jamaica. And we used to call him all kinds of names. And, you know, through the torture by us kids, it's saw him start pick up rock stone and fling after way. But he never bothered nobody. I'm sure he's probably passed away by now because he was a bit elderly even back then when I was growing up. Greatly. But we're talking about the clean clothes, mad people them. And let's not forget the parents who facilitate this. The family members who facilitate this. I know my brother do, but I don't want to see him go to prison. Hear what? I know my son do, but I don't want to see him go to prison. So I send him go to next part of Jamaica, go stay with him grandmother. Why? You send him from town, go to Clarendon, go do what? Go do the same thing he just did at town? Tell man hold him and chop him up or something. You don't want to see him go to prison, but you want to see him do more stuff like that to other people. Some of these families know. They know. Just like when them out the road I kill people, rob people's house, them come in, them itch up the same flat screen, them thief out of Miss Jones' house, right enough for them house. And them parents and friends and family sit down and watch the same TV. And they know it's ill-gotten. Them hear say robbery go on the other night in the community. Them see them son come in later act boomy. Them dismiss it. Hear them now? Thank you, Jesus, and make it home safe. Them know. So that secret society of family members and friends that like to be complicit and silent is a big part of it too. That's why I say this is not government something. But it seems like we can't govern ourselves. That's where we're at. It seems like we cannot govern ourselves. And this is where law enforcement steps in. Because we can't govern ourselves. We are moved like some wild, and not even wild animals don't do this. Wild animals kill for what? They kill to survive. They kill for territory. If the fight goes on that long, they kill for food. Out of necessity, as how nature is set up. So we're behaving like a new species. A new species. Shirley starts say yes, you're right. They know, but them licky. Yeah, man. And we know that they know. Benji, big up yourself, family. Benji says, stay up so flow. Love the content that you put out. Antigua massive. Oh, my Antigua family, big up on yourself. I don't know if y'all know it, but I said it before. My two first children, my boys, their mom, she is from Antigua and Barbuda. So, you know, I have close ties to Antigua. It's the only people in the Caribbean who I can actually mistake their accent for a Jamaican accent. Actually. You know, I'm going to hear a Trinidad and know says a Trinidad. A Bajan, I'm going to hear a Bajan and know says a Bajan that are Guyanese over there. So, but Antiguan, some of them when them talk, you have to really, really listen. Because they actually really sound Jamaican. But big up Antigua. Big up my Antiguan family. Christ-centered says, until you've lived by God's guide and fail under his guide, let us stop blaming God and start blaming ourselves. Well, here what? I don't think God need any of us to defend God. God is that powerful, right? Walk with me. God is that powerful. So for us to ask, where is God? Is not blaming God. It's simply asking, where is God? Because you know, me grew up here and said God is in control of all things. Put God first in everything and your business will be okay. Christine Simpson, I appreciate you greatly. Thank you. Christine Simpson says Jamaica had the lowest crime rate in the 60s. What happened? I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened in two, was it words, phrases? JLP and PNP happened. That happened. JLP and PNP happened. However y'all want to take it, take away there. But go deeper into what I just said. JLP and PNP happened. That's what happened. I mash up the place. And it's been a downhill spiral ever since. For those who came out of the 70s, 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, and somewhat into the 90s, you were probably the last generation of, oh, the place is peaceful and lovely and we're walking everywhere late evening and we play outside and granny said, you know, come inside now and these kind of things. You're probably the last generation of that. You're probably the last generation of the whole community knows who you are and who for picnic you be. And if you behave yourself wrong out there, news reach home before you. You're probably the last generation of when we actually cared about each other and really did police our own community. Politics happen, my friend. Politics happen. Shirley says these are the generation of vipers. Yeah. Can't blame them, because somebody set it that way and them come make it worse. When you gave them doo-doo to build on, they just built more doo-doo on top of the doo-doo we gave them. So me not even blame the new generation by themselves. It's a new species now for real. But when I look and see who some of these people are that are committing these crimes, some of them ain't even from this generation. Are people who supposed to know better that come from a generation gone previously. Boy, JK, we have to, no one say we have to take serious thing, make jokes sometime, but my God, Lazionessa, thank you for being here. All right. If you gotta go, have a wonderful day. I appreciate you greatly. Nature man, big up yourself. Nicole Scott says, when a nation turn away from God, their coverage is removed, so God will be silent, like he was to the Israelites when they disobeyed him. No one should get a gift for misbehaving. Okay, well, if God is that powerful, then why don't God just remove those who are against all things that are godly and allow godly people to continue to live and praise God? Answer that now. You say when a nation has turned away from God, there are still godly people within that nation. But these broad statements make it seem like everybody a hooligan and everybody, the nation has turned. Like we collectively as Jamaica said, we turn away from God, we denounce God. And then God said, okay, I will remove my cover from you. Come on, man. Answer me, no, man. Eh? Like I said, I'm not knock religion because enough time them jump out on me and start saying stuff like, you are devil, you're the devil, you're evil, you're not a godly man, I'm not a religious man. Me no entertain myself with people religion. I grew up in religion, I studied religion, and going through school, them taught us even more religion. So I get to study religion and theology in depth, beat it to death. And I think that God exists outside of religion. Spirituality, a spiritual connection with the Almighty Creator, is above religion. But since we're going to talk about religion, because I can tell when a comment comes from a religious perspective. You understand? You are never to blame God. You are never to question why God didn't show up. The big greyback man rape off the little 4-year-old girl, bust up or something. Nobody can say where was God. What the little girl do fi deserve that? She never know about God yet, much less has turned her back against God. Is she getting punished because others in Jamaica turned their backs against God? Boy. Our leaders are lackadaisical, man, at best. Gorilla, you wake up, Papa? Our leaders are lackadaisical at best. Don't give a damn about what's really going on in the country on that level. Come out every now and then, say some nice things, and we're working on it, and we are formulating a crime plan to fix this, and we have some investigations going on, and I can do that. I can shave my beard off, get a nice haircut, put on a suit, and stand tall and look good in front and speak eloquently, and then no results. But this is not only them, but they play a big part as well. We have to take responsibility, though. You understand? God gave man free will. Again, if God is so powerful and God knew that some of his most precious creations, which are human beings, would destroy themselves when he gave them free will, why would he give them free will? If I know that this is going to destroy my 4-year-old or my 3-year-old or my child or my children, why would I give it to them? This is going to destroy you, but I love you, so I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to hope you choose right and don't use this that I gave you to kill yourself. Christine Simpson, manners and respect, thank you. Christine says Jamaica has the most churches per square mile of any country in the world, with over 1,600 churches all over Jamaica. Source is the Guinness Book of World Record. That's facts. We talked about this before. But you see, church without a spiritual connection, it's just a building. It's just a building where people go to dress up nice. Sunday, me put on my Sunday best. Me grew up with Sunday shoes, you know. Me grew up with church shoes, you know. And the shoes that couldn't get touched any other time except for church. Unless I was going to go to a funeral with Granny. So you wear the same shoes because you know how funeral go. You go into the church and then from the church then go to the graveyard. But it's just a building. It's just a building. It's a building where they go and and a lot of them gossip about each other. It's a building where hypocrites go because from Monday to Friday, them live jacked up, the most messed up thought process, treat people like doo-doo. And then Saturday, oh, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist and this is my holy day. Or on Sunday, hallelujah, Jesus, praise the Lord. And then Monday, them right back to the friggery again. So that's what it has become. And it's been like that for quite a while now. That's why the youths have turned away and people are trying to, yo, listen to me, man. Listen to me and listen to me good. You see, you can't fool. People can fool themselves, but you can't fool who've been watching you all their life. So you can't look at me and tell me that I'm not seeing what I have been seeing. You can't tell me I'm not living through what has been my experience for years upon years upon years. So the youth them turning away from this thing called church and all this, even though we have the most churches per square mile in the world, to the tune of being in the Guinness Book of World Records. Yet the youth them don't want to go to church. New generation, it's not because the new generation are vipers. It's because the new generation sees the hypocrisy, the foolishness, the house of cards that's crumbling. Them see it. Some people that invite me to church, you see, me have to laugh. God no, I laugh. Me really laugh. This is a hypocrite that invite me go to church. You know, it's like those people that get on social media. It's like they're totally disconnected from themselves. They get on social media and they say stuff like, people who gossip, talk bad about others, blah, blah, blah. I can't stand these people. But that's their MO. That's what they do. And you have to wonder because you know that person there and you see the post and you're like, imagine must be drunk. Must be over there drink too much today. Like me know you. Like me know you. That's why I distance myself from you because you're that you just, it's the same thing. You're coming to church on Sunday. Yes, man, come join us in the house of the Lord and you have to laugh yourself because you still don't want to disrespect them, you know. But you're like, you? My spirit inside is saying, you? No, man, make somebody else invite me, not you. But tell somebody else to invite the youth them, not you. Because the youth them know you. In the community, we know you. The youths are not into the hypocrisy. Them prefer just live brawling. They're not into the hypocrisy, and that's why you can't draw them into your church no more. It's not that they turned their backs on the... They're not going in there. They don't want to go in there. It's like sending somebody into a den of snakes. I'm not going in there. One of them will sting me or bite me. Or whatever snakes do. Yeah, man, they're very sensitive to it. Very sensitive to it. Jamaica need benevolent dictatorship, not democracy. Me not go side with that one there, you know. I don't want to live under no dictatorship. We just need to clean up our act, really. That's why you can't be fooled by old colonial mentality. You are absolutely right, nature man. That is the uprising that they're seeing. And them a beat the youth them bad and I talk about they've turned their backs on God. Remember, we were stripped of everything at one point. Okay? We were stripped of our basic names, man. So no connection to where somehow we come from. We were stripped of, forget pride and dignity and all that. We were stripped of lineage. We were stripped of the way how our ancestors worshipped. We were stripped of their knowledge that was passed down of healing and how to move as a unit and how to govern our own thing. We were stripped of everything. So we were given what we're living with. And not too many has thought, okay, this wasn't ours originally. Let me go back and find what it was that was ours originally. You don't see over Africa. You don't see how them poor in some places. And the whole of them in there laughing and talking with each other. You hungry, Jomo? Yeah, hungry. I report my tribe. You hungry? Yes. Didi, me hungry too. But we're not going to kill each other. I guess the two of we are going to stay so and dead for hungry then. Oh, let's plant yam. Let's pray for rain. So yam can grow. But them not kill off each other like that. So it's not even poverty. When I hear people say it's lack of opportunity and it's poverty and the places, it's not even that. Because enough poor people out there, poor country, way poorer than Jamaica. Honestly, I don't see poverty yet. I've been around. I don't see poverty yet. So for that, and they managed to get by and still hold on to the sanctity of life and the respect for life and the life giver. Galaxy, thank you. Galaxy says, Christians that I know are the most hypocrites people I know. My grandma is in her 80s and she says she will never go to church because of it. I'm not talking down on the church them. I'm just telling, if you're here and you're a churchical person, just know, say, we're not talking down on the church. We're speaking truth about the church. It might be a hard truth. There's a difference. We're not talking down on the church. We're speaking truth about the church. It might be a hard truth for you to swallow, but it is just that, what it is. See? So either you're going to be defensive because you feel offended, and then that won't change anything, or you're going to go into the church and try to be that change. You have choices. So you can be offended on social media all you want. It's not going to change what we know to be facts now. You know, if we go back in the church and make change in the church has fallen apart. The church, I can finally say it. The church has fallen apart. Listen, when me I grow up, you see, stepper, real stepper, bad man, them carry them like a Bible. Right, that's all. You remember the little green one, and they had another color. I think it was black burgundy looking outside Bible. Them carry them little Bible right here, so. No matter how him out a road I tear up the place, carry them little Bible right there, so. The man will open him Bible and build up a spliff and read a psalm a day for real. Keep him meditation steady on these things. And a crime him do, you know. A crime him do. There was a high level of respect for the church before. Them actually used to really feed people. Them actually used to really help people. It used to actually really be a place of refuge. Man, I run you down one time, you cut and run going to the church, them not coming in there. Me I catch him for one next day. Me not ask me, I tell you, because me live through that. That gone. The church fell apart. The church fell apart. Man, running at church and murder you in there now. Because there's no respect for it, because it's falling apart. So go back to the drawing board, church. But this isn't about beating the church morning. This is about what we've become. An 82-year-old woman. Let me end this video by saying this. We're an hour and 25 minutes in. Shout out to all the people who tuned in this morning. An 82-year-old woman in our yard washing clothes. Somebody passed and see her under the mango tree and said she did look good and healthy and everything. Probably called to her to what, Miss Joan? All right, everything good? Yes, baby. All right. You need anything? No, me good, you know. All right, then. I go down there, so here. Pass and see her. And by the time them pass back, the woman naked out the door, no clothes from the waist down, raped, throat slash, dentures out her mouth, upon grung in a pool of blood. What part of this sounds like one love, one heart, let's get together and feel all right? Yeah, the children cry. What part of that mixed with that? What part of that mixed with that? What part of that says, oh, this is paradise? I feel like a big hypocrite when I tell people about Jamaica paradise. Then I have to come do these stories. But Jamaica really is paradise to me. With all that is going on, it is. But does that sound like someplace you want to be? Remember, I know, it's not no one-time thing, this, you know. A regular woman get draw away and rape off and beat up on these things and cut up and them not say nothing. Or the perpetrator escaped in nearby bushes and was never found. Woman found in her house, throat slashed, raped. Nobody not held accountable for it all. No. If you think it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 times this happened, just go back and go look. Go look. I have a lot of videos on SouFLoTV. Go back and dig and you will see. I covered them. Enough of them till me get tired. Because I just couldn't believe, say, yo, this happened like, okay, the first time it happened years ago when I started SouFLoTV, and I said, yo, we're going down the wrong path. This is, oh my God. And then we start the more and more and more. And I'm like, is somebody making these for me to do videos on? Because them here happen too often. And then people are saying, no, SouFLo, a regular thing. I saw it go. Laurel Newman, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bro Shaka, see that? Nothing a bush not get found yet. Real talk. Tamiko Keston says, I want to move there, but, with a big but. TJ Taylor says, well, Andrew is on his way there. Listen up. You can move there. You can move there. The sad part is that you can't just go live anywhere anymore. A time gone by, people used to, when people are come back from foreign, you know. Me know a farm worker, and I know people who left for years and came back and built up them nice thing, and they're a pillar in the community because they came back and they helped others. See? They were able to come back and live wherever they wanted to live because the place wasn't running like this. It was a dream to retire there, even if you'd only have a little bit of money. Now, if you're going to retire to Jamaica, please take my advice. Don't go rot in Jamaica in your old age. Go act like this was in the 60s when Jamaica had the lowest crime rate and things were okay. And talk about you just want to live anywhere in any community. You can't do it. That's the sad part. You can't do it. You have to have a little bit of money because you're going to have to go into a gated community that has 24-hour security guard. I don't know security guard around here, so. I have my gun and my camera then. I don't know security guard. More time I sleep without my door open by accident. I don't know if I'll be praying for somebody to come in because I ain't shot in a while, but I'm just saying I have the option to. It's a different ball game I run. Take it for what you want to take it for. But if you're planning retirement, plan security to the T with that retirement. By the way, I was going to end right now, but let me finish this before I end. A lady called me the other day, and she actually had me on the phone while the superintendent was at her property. So she went to Jamaica after her parents passed away and them left Holy Palana and house and these things. And there are people that are involved, to include a law enforcement official, a police woman. The woman said she plant up 100 and something banana suckle and how much they 50 head of yam and this and that. Them just come in there and chop up everything on the property. They chop through everything. And they're telling her that them want her out. And if she don't leave the house, them are going to burn down the house because of the land them want. And all that. And I'm asking her, do you think you're safe? You know you're in danger, right? She says, I know. But for 6 years I've been in this house. 5 or 6 years, she said, and she don't go nowhere. Who want to live like that? You have to lock up in the house and put camera around you and dogs everywhere. And she have dogs because the whole time she was talking to me, when the superintendent arrived, all me hear till I couldn't even hear her talking anymore. So she have multiple dogs and she say, you know, SouFlo, I have to stand up. I have to stand up for the returning residents, even if it means this is what I give my life for. Me I said to myself, Brati, woman, you're brave. You're brave. And she's telling that superintendent to his face. So that person, when you see this video, if you're not on the live now, while that was going on, my phone cut off because she had me on the phone for a long time. My battery started to die. I couldn't get to my charger or whatever. The phone cut off. I don't know if she think I hung up on her, but I want her to call me back. I want to expose her story on a bigger level. So please call me back when you see this. Other than that, thank you people for thank you for coming out this morning, staying through the show, and you know, it's just disheartening, man. I'm lost for words now, confused. I said all that I can say. I've said all that I could say for years now. Nothing not changed. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. We can finally look at each other now, my brother, my sister, admit to each other. It'll get worse. It passed worse now. It gone wasara. I will come after wasara. See? Oh, mommy. Curly girly. Oh, she run from me. Can I come, babe? Let me say bye to the audience. So manners and respect to each and every one of you. Babe, now come front that camera and drop towel, you know. You know, here said brains whole hoo-ha was out on morning. Morning, mama. So my little sugar dumpling. Morning, mommy. You see yourself? You see the little pretty girl? All right, people, have a wonderful day. Blessings upon each and every one of you. Life is precious, man. We need to live it like it's precious. And remember also that we are our brothers and our sisters' keeper. So anything we have going can easily land on your doorstep as well. So when I say rally up and let's get changes, don't exclude yourself because you think it can't reach you. All right? One love. Peace. You all right? You looking at yourself?